Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are plunging into a fascinating stack of sources you've brought us, all highlighting different ways Japanese culture is connecting with the world right now.
Yeah, it looks like we've got some really interesting examples.
We're going to look at some vibrant examples, from deep-rooted traditional arts to modern characters and iconic stories, and see how they're building bridges both within Japan and across borders.
That's right. We have information covering a Japanese calligraphy artist's exhibition currently underway in Taiwan.
Okay.
Then details about a special event in Tokyo centered around a globally popular character brand.
Right.
And finally, news of a unique art piece that merges traditional Japanese craft with a legendary cyberpunk series. It's a really diverse collection touching on tradition, technology, modern creativity, and, international exchange.
Absolutely. Our mission is to unpack these distinct sources, extract the most important insights, and understand what they reveal about this dynamic interplay. How are these elements, tradition, technology, global trends, creativity interacting in Japanese culture today?
And how is that playing out on the world stage?
Exactly. Let's dive in. So let's start our exploration with a look at how a profoundly traditional Japanese art form is actively building cultural bridges internationally.
Okay.
We have details here about a solo exhibition by the renowned Japanese calligrapher and seal engraver, Robokyu. His given name is Kushiki Obara.
And this isn't just any exhibition, it's a significant one happening right now in Taiwan.
Oh, interesting. Where exactly?
It's hosted by the Taiyuan Museum of Fine Arts and the Yokoyama Calligraphy Art Museum, both in Taiwan. The source notes it opened recently, May 28th, and runs through August 18th, 2025.
Okay, so it's happening as we speak. What immediately jumps out from the source is that Roboko is the first Japanese artist ever to hold a solo exhibition at the Yokoyama Calligraphy Art Museum.
Yeah, that's a key point.
That feels like a major moment for cross-cultural recognition, doesn't it? It's not just showing art. It's about being given this prominent stage in another country's dedicated calligraphy institution.
It absolutely is. It signifies a high level of esteem within the Taiwanese calligraphy world and, highlights a deepening cultural connection. The source also gives some background, mentioning his long-standing relationship with Taiwan. Apparently, he participated in a Japan-Taiwan calligraphy exchange exhibition way back in 2012.
Oh, wow. In Zhongli City.
That's the one, over a decade ago.
Okay.
So this solo show feels like maybe the culmination of years of artistic and cultural exchange.
That history definitely makes the current exhibition even more meaningful. Now, the core concept behind the exhibition is something we often hear about in Japanese traditional arts, or shuhari.
Ah, shuhari. Yes.
How does this philosophy, which you usually hear applied to like tea ceremony or martial arts, frame a calligrapher's work?
Well, shuhari basically describes stages of learning, growth, and ultimately creative freedom. So in calligraphy, shu is that initial stage.
The beginning.
Right. Diligently learning and mastering the fundamental forms, the techniques, the rules set down by tradition. It's really about deep imitation and internalizing what the masters did.
So building that solid foundation of skill first.
Precisely. You can't really innovate effectively without first mastering the basics. Then comes,
Okay, stage 2.
this is where, having fully absorbed the tradition, the artist starts to, innovate, they experiment, they question the established forms, maybe start developing their own unique voice.
Breaking away a bit.
Yeah, breaking away from strict adherence, but still acknowledging those roots. It's where the artist pushes boundaries, but, informed by that deep knowledge.
Got it. Controlled departure, maybe.
Exactly. And finally, there's Re. This is the stage of transcendence, you could say.
Transcendence.
The artist has moved beyond both strict rules and even conscious innovation. Their technique and personal expression are just fully integrated. It allows for spontaneous, truly original creation that flows naturally.
So they're not bound by form anymore.
Not really bound by form, but embodying the spirit and essence that they refined through those earlier shu and ha stages.
It's a beautiful framework for artistic evolution, really. So the exhibition is structured to showcase Roboku's work across these stages.
That's the idea. Illustrating his journey not just in technical skill, but as the source puts it, the evolution of his heart and thought.
Interesting. What kind of works are actually on display to show this progression?
The exhibition features around 40 pieces. So in the shu section, you'd see works rooted in deep tradition, like large-scale pieces inspired by ancient Chinese texts and inscriptions, maybe from the Qin and Han dynasties. demonstrating mastery of those foundational forms.
Okay, the classics. And then moving into the Ha and Ri stages, what does that look like?
That's where he explores more contemporary expressions. The exhibition includes something called Koge Shodo,
Kogi Shodo.
yeah, which you could translate as craft calligraphy. It involves fusing calligraphy with other materials, maybe mixed media, taking the art form beyond just ink on paper.
Ah, okay. Expanding the definition.
Exactly. And he also uses installations, presenting calligraphy in like three-dimensional space or unconventional formats, really challenging viewers' expectations of what Shodo is or can be.
So it connects to his aim, mentioned in the source, to sort of redefine or reconstruct the expression of Shodo for today.
Precisely. He's not just practicing the craft. He's actively questioning its limits and its potential in the modern era.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the curator, Zhang Dengkai, apparently highlights this perspective too. He expressed hope that the exhibition will encourage viewers to rethink the fundamental concept of writing itself.
Rethink writing. How so?
You know, its purpose, its form, its meaning in contemporary society, positioning calligraphy not just as an aesthetic practice, but maybe a philosophical one too.
That's fascinating. And it's interesting that the museum is also hosting another show at the same time by Zhang Tianjin called Words Spat Onto the Floor.
Right, that concurrent exhibition.
And that one also explores the meaning of writing, linking it to memory and daily life, using traditional forms like calligraphy, ink painting, seal carving.
Yeah, having that parallel exhibition adds a really rich layer of context, doesn't it? It suggests the museum's broader vision is focused on exploring the contemporary relevance of these traditional writing-based arts.
And maybe allows for a kind of dialogue between Japanese and Taiwanese perspectives on these shared cultural roots.
Could be. Even as artists like Roboku are pushing the boundaries, it fits with the Taiwan Museum's stated philosophy promoting multi-directional development and innovation in calligraphy art.
So hosting these two shows side by side really demonstrates that philosophy in action and marks a step in Taiwan-Japan cultural exchange through this specific artistic lens.
Definitely. It's a significant move.
Okay, so we see the artist evolving, the museum fostering dialogue, but the source also links Roboku to an even larger initiative, the Noroshi Project.
Ah, yes, the Noroshi Project by Flip9 Inc., Japanese Culture Inheritance Project Noroshi.
This seems pretty crucial for understanding the bigger picture of Roboku's international presence. What is Noroshi exactly?
Well, Noroshi is a project specifically designed to connect Japanese cultural creators and build a sustainable future for various Japanese cultural forms, both traditional and modern.
How do they do that?
Their key approach is transmitting these forms globally, primarily using the internet and technology as the main tools for this international transmission.
So, taking traditional skills and culture and using modern digital tools to reach a global audience. Is that the gist?
That's exactly it. They aim for a wide scope of Japanese culture. The source mentions examples like anime, shodo, calligraphy, obviously, sake, and food. A real mix.
And how do they leverage technology?
They're using contemporary methods like NFT technology, crowdfunding platforms, social media marketing, basically connecting creators directly with international fans and collectors, facilitating sales and engagement that way.
Right, using all the modern tools.
Yeah.
How does this project specifically help creators like RoboQ and contribute to cultural preservation? Because that's in the name, Inheritance Project.
Well, the sales generated through these global online initiatives and international exhibitions like Roboku's provide income directly to the creators, which is vital, especially for artists in traditional fields where making a sustainable living can be, challenging.
Makes sense.
And crucially, a portion of the proceeds also goes towards training successors, ensuring these high-skill traditions can actually be passed down to the next generation. The goal is right there in the name, ensuring more of Japan's cultural heritage is preserved and stays vibrant.
That's a really concrete model, using modern tech and global reach for economic sustainability and ensuring the continuity of traditional arts.
Exactly.
So, Roboku's solo show in Taiwan, while it's an artistic milestone in itself, is also like a tangible example of how initiatives like Noroshi are putting their strategy into practice.
It really is. It shows the physical manifestation of their digital and global outreach efforts.
It perfectly illustrates how ancient art forms, deeply rooted in specific cultural practices, can find new audiences and new expressions on the international stage.
Especially when strategically leveraging modern platforms and connections facilitated by projects like Noroshi. It bridges that gap between historical practice, contemporary artistic evolution, and global market engagement.
It's a powerful blend, isn't it? Old and new, tradition and tech, local talent, global reach. Makes you wonder how any other traditional Japanese arts could benefit from something similar.
Definitely food for thought.
Okay, let's shift gears quite dramatically now. From the maybe quiet focus of traditional calligraphy traveling outward,
Right.
we're jumping into the incredibly vibrant, often loud world of global characters and how they connect with Japan. Our second source gives us details about a major event for a popular character brand happening right in Shibuya.
This is news about BT21. The source describes it as a globally popular character brand.
I've definitely heard of BT21.
Yeah, huge. Created through a collaboration between Line Friends, which has Japanese roots via the Line app, and the massive South Korean music group BTS.
So a brand born from a cross-cultural creative effort that just exploded worldwide.
Absolutely massive popularity. And the event is the BT21 The Journey Special event, taking place at Line Friends Square, Shibuya.
Okay, so what makes this event noteworthy in our context of cultural flow?
Well, the headline feature, and what makes it really significant, is that this event hosts the first ever screening of the BT21 original anime series, The Journey, with Japanese voice dubbing.
Wow, the first Japanese dub premiere. That's not just releasing the show, that's specifically tailoring it for the Japanese audience.
Exactly. For a brand that's already so popular globally, introducing a full Japanese dub is a major localization effort.
And there's more.
Yeah, to build even more excitement, the source notes that episodes 6 through 9 being shown at this event are actually world premieres.
Oh, really? World premieres at this event?
Yep. So Japanese fans attending this specific event in Shibuya are getting the very first viewing of these new episodes anywhere, and they're localized into Japanese.
That's a great way to reward the local fan base. Tell us more about the experience of actually going to this event.
Okay, so it's running from June 13th to June 16th, 2025. Pretty short run. It's at the Line Friends Square Shibuya on the B1 floor.
And access.
It's reservation only, although apparently free to enter once you have a reservation. The source did highlight the high demand, mentioning reservations were nearly fully booked almost immediately.
Wow. Speaks to the brand's popularity in Japan for sure. So, you make your reservation, you show up in Shibuya. What happens inside?
Attendees enter the media zone first. It's set up with large screens and immersive sound for watching the anime screening.
How long is the screening?
It's 42 minutes long, presenting the episodes. They provide stools for seating during the show.
Okay, and after the screening, is that it?
No, the experience continues. After the anime, attendees move into a dedicated shopping area.
The merchandise.
Of course, but also opportunities for character greetings. The source even gives a schedule for which characters appear when, so dedicated fans can plan their visit around seeing their favorites.
That's pretty cool. Any special incentives for attending or,
Yeah.
buying stuff?
Definitely. Attendees with a reservation automatically get a special BT21 folding cushion, which they can actually use during the screening. Nice touch.
Practical.
Yeah. There's also a free original design receipt photo machine, like a fun little souvenir, and then purchase bonuses kick in.
Okay, what are they?
Spend 3,000 yen or more, you get a random original sticker from the Journey series, spend 5,500 yen or more, and you also receive an original non-woven bag. While supplies last, of course.
Right, standard practice. They're really encouraging engagement and purchases right there at the venue. What kind of products are available?
The main focus is on new product lines tied directly to the anime, including The Journey, Next Stage, and band series merchandise.
Makes sense.
Plus, there are Shibuya exclusive items available only at this location. Things like name sticker machines and capsule toys.
So the in-person event offers exclusive content, the screening, the dub premiere, and exclusive merchandise. But what about fans who can't get to Shibuya or couldn't get a reservation?
There's broader access to the new products, thankfully. The source confirms that items from the Journey and Next Stage series are also available online starting the same day, June 13th.
Through the official online store.
Yeah, the Line Friends Square Japan official online store. And there's a similar online purchase bonus, a random sticker for purchases over 3,000 yen.
Okay, good for accessibility. And you mentioned pop-up events, too, at Loft stores.
Correct. The Journey, Poppy, UP, and Loft events are happening at 6 Loft locations across Japan, so wider geographic reach.
But are they the same as the Shibuya event?
No, and the source is clear about this. These Loft pop-ups feature a different product lineup from the main Shibuya store, and importantly, they do not include the anime screening.
Ah, okay. Different experience.
Right. They do have their own unique purchase bonus, though. A random foil-stamped career card for purchases over 3,000 yen.
So it's a multifaceted launch strategy. You've got the main event, the online store, the partner retail pop-ups, each offering something slightly different to engage fans across Japan.
It really demonstrates a sophisticated approach to managing this kind of IP and engaging the fan base, catering to different levels of access and interest.
Okay, connecting this back to our theme of international cultural exchange.
Hmm.
This BT21 event is a fascinating contrast to the calligraphy exhibition, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Here we have a globally successful brand, born from a collaboration with roots in both Japan, via Line, and Korea, via BTS, now being specifically localized and celebrated within Japan, with a dedicated dub and this major fan event.
Yeah, what's insightful here is how global IP, particularly in these visual and character-driven realms, which are obviously closely related to the international popularity of anime, isn't just exported from Japan.
Right.
Japan is also a huge market for this kind of IP, and successful engagement requires significant localization efforts, like this Japanese dub. It shows a different direction of cultural flow.
Kind of bringing a global phenomenon home to one of its origin points, but adapting it meticulously for the local audience.
Exactly. It underscores the complexity and fluidity of cultural exchange today. It's not just one way.
It highlights that while Japanese characters in animation travel the world, global characters are also making their way into Japan, and successful entry often depends on that tailored cultural adaptation. It's a two-way street, or maybe even a multi-lane highway.
Good analogy.
Okay, that was the great example of a global brand localizing for Japan. Now, let's move to our final source, which explores a truly unique fusion. This one brings together very deep Japanese tradition with globally iconic modern science fiction.
Right. This news is about a new art piece series called Techno Byobu.
Techno Byobu. That name immediately sparks curiosity. Sounds like ancient and modern just smashing together. What's the concept?
So the project takes works by acclaimed artists and recreates them as traditional Japanese folding screens byobu.
Okay, traditional screens.
But the key element here is the use of historical Japanese foil craft techniques. The source emphasizes these have a history stretching back over 500 years in Japan.
Wow, 500 years.
Yeah, so it's about applying this centuries-old, highly skilled artisanal method to render contemporary or modern artistic concepts onto that traditional Japanese format.
The second series in this Techno Byobu project, TB02, is based on, well, something instantly recognizable to anyone interested in Japanese culture and sci-fi, Ghost in the Shell by Shiro Masamune.
Yes, they've chosen a truly legendary cyberpunk work, known globally, especially through its anime adaptations.
Absolutely. So the aim here is to translate the distinct visuals of Ghost in the Shell complex, cybernetic, onto the physical medium of a traditional byobu.
That's the goal. The project describes it as a new generation visual art where time and space intersect, bringing historical craft together with futuristic themes.
That is a bold concept. What specifically will the first piece in this Ghost in the Shell Techno Byobu series feature?
It's going to depict key characters from the original 1991 manga.
Okay, who?
Motoko Kusanagi, the protagonist, and the Fuchikoma, those sentient, multi-legged tank-like vehicle.
The Fuchikoma, classic.
Yeah. They are arranged boldly, according to the source, on a background created using Western gold leaf, which is actually brass foil.
Yeah, plus foil.
Yep, applied with a traditional technique called large foil scattering. So taking specific recognizable imagery from the classic manga and rendering it using this very specific historical Japanese craft technique.
It's a direct application of ancient skill to modern popular imagery. And this project isn't just for Japan, is it?
Doesn't seem like it. The source explicitly mentions the international debut.
Oh, where?
The prototype for this Ghost in the Shell Techno Byobu is having its world premiere right now at Design Shanghai 2025. It runs June 4th to 7th.
Hi in Shanghai.
And it's being featured in a specific section called Beyond Craft Japan. So debuting at a major international design fair in China within a section highlighting Japanese craft for a global audience that clearly signals they're targeting the international art and design market.
Launching it on that kind of global stage definitely sends a strong message. Now, the name Techno Byobu itself, it seems like there's a deeper meaning, not just technology screen, right? The source talks about a techno philosophy.
Yes, it's presented as a multi-layered concept. They trace the origin back to the ancient Greek word techne.
Techne.
Yeah, which encompassed art, technique, and skill. So in the context of Techno Byobu, the name includes not only modern practical technology, but also the intelligence, the creativity, the high-level skill embedded in the traditional craftsmanship of the Byobu artisans, the original techne.
Ah, so the skill itself is techne.
Right, and it also also links to the futuristic sensibility found in electronic music genres like, well, techno.
Okay, so it's bridging historical skilled creation with modern tech and a futuristic aesthetic. That's quite a mix.
Precisely. The techno byobu is presented as a synthesis of three core elements. The artwork, reflecting the future and contemporary ideas like Ghost in the Shell.
Right.
Then the Japanese traditional craft, embodying the deep skill and techné of the artisans making the screen.
Got it.
And finally, technology, which is used in aspects like digital certificates to ensure the authenticity of these limited edition pieces.
Using technology for authenticity. That kind of links back to the Noroshai project using NFTs, doesn't it? Different applications, but both leveraging modern tech to support or protect cultural output.
It's a good point. It shows how technology can play a role in the modern life cycle of traditional crafts and the contemporary art forms built upon them.
So what about the product specifics for this Ghost in the Shell Byobu?
It's planned for release in 2026. It'll be a numbered limited edition, though the exact quantity isn't decided yet.
And the physical details, size, materials?
It's a Suppo Shakunikyoku Byobu that's a 2-panel screen. Dimensions are roughly 1,500 millimeters tall by 1,400 millimeters wide, weighing about 4 kilograms.
Okay, decent size.
Materials are listed as Western gold leaf, that brass foil again, and paper. The production techniques mentioned are archival pigment print and something called Kasane Graphica multi-layer transfer.
Kasane Graphic?
Yeah, that likely refers to how they apply the detailed artwork onto the foil surface. The price is TBD to be determined. Suggests it'll likely be a high-value art collectible.
Makes sense for a limited edition craft piece like this. And the series aims to feature other works too, incorporating Japanese elegance and spirituality.
Yes, the intention seems to be to continue exploring these kinds of intersections. This Ghost in the Shell piece is just the first example from the TBO2 series.
It's worth remembering the background here too, Ghost in the Shell itself.
Yeah.
It started as a manga back in 1989, right?
Yep. Incredibly influential SF manga, famous for its detailed world building, its deep philosophical questions about identity, consciousness, technology, in a cyberpunk future.
And, the action-packed story of Section 9, plus the adaptations. The anime films by Mamoru Oshii, the series, they give it massive international recognition. It's a landmark globally.
Absolutely. It's globally recognized IP with a huge cultural footprint. And on the other side, the traditional craft is supported by Rikisseisha.
Who are they?
The company providing the foil craft, founded way back in 1905. They're credited with pioneering the use of Western gold leaf in Japan and have a reputation for top-quality craftsmanship. Used by prominent clients, worldwide historical institutions, global luxury brands.
So this isn't just any craft workshop. It's a collaboration with leading experts in this centuries-old craft with a proven track record on the global stage.
Exactly. High credibility on the craft side. And the company behind the whole project, UMAA Inc., also has a relevant background. Apparently, they're linked to the spirit of Yellow Magic Orchestra YMO.
Oh, YMO. Interesting connection.
Yeah, pioneers known for fusing music, art, and technology. So that lineage aligns perfectly with the whole techno philosophy they're talking about for the Byobu project.
Okay, bring it all together. This Techno Byobu project is a really striking example. You take iconic Japanese IP, especially one amplified globally through anime like Ghost in the Shell, and combine it with deep, high-skill Japanese tradition like byobu making and foil work.
To create something entirely new, positioned for the global high-end art market.
It represents a truly cutting-edge form of cultural creation and export. It's not just preserving tradition separately or exporting modern IP separately. It actively merges them.
Yeah, producing these novel art forms. It leverages both the deep historical reservoir of Japanese craftsmanship and the globally beloved output of contemporary Japanese creativity, especially its strength in sci-fi, visual media, character design, a powerful synthesis of past and future.
It really shows the boundless potential when different elements of Japanese culture across centuries and media are combined with global perspectives and modern technology. Pretty exciting stuff.
Definitely.
So we've completed our deep dive into these three distinct sources today. We started by looking at Japanese calligrapher Roboku's exhibition in Taiwan.
Right. Seeing how traditional art, guided by philosophies like Shuhari, is evolving and finding international audiences, and how projects like Noroshai use modern tech for outreach and preservation.
Then we explored the BT21, the Journey special event in Tokyo. That showed a different angle. A global character brand with dual roots being localized and celebrated within Japan.
Yeah, with that first ever Japanese voice dub and the multi-channel fan engagement, highlighting how important cultural adaptation is for global IP entering local markets.
And finally, we delved into the Techno Byobu project. That unique fusion combining centuries-old traditional screens and foil craft with the iconic cyberpunk world of Ghost in the Shell.
Creating these high-end art pieces for the international market, embodying that philosophy bridging ancient skill, techne, modern art, and technology.
These examples, they cover really different fields: traditional fine art, character IP, high-concept visual art.
But taken together, they paint a vivid picture of Japanese culture today. It's anything but static, it's dynamic, it's innovative, deeply rooted in history, yet constantly seeking new forms of expression.
It demonstrates how tradition, technology, and global trends aren't necessarily opposing forces. They can intersect and fuel each other.
Especially in those realms of visual creativity, characters, and storytelling that Japan is so well known for globally.
They really show different facets of cultural exchange, exporting deep traditional skill, localizing global phenomena for specific markets, and creating entirely new hybrid forms that resonate internationally by drawing on both past and present strengths.
It makes you consider the trajectory, Looking at these diverse initiatives, preserving and exporting traditional skills with digital support, adapting global characters for local fans, forging new art from classic IP and ancient craft. What do you think is the most exciting direction Japanese culture is heading in its global interactions?
That's a great question for our listeners. And how do you see that relationship evolving between Japanese tradition, technology, and its internationally beloved creative output like anime and characters? How will it continue to evolve and, well, surprise us in the future? It's definitely a constantly fascinating space to watch.